All right, you guys, there you go. We are live, you guys. You are tuned in to Sip and Talk. Tonight's this topic is about FBG Duck and his murder. And B-LOV will be hosting that this evening.
How's it going? Right. How's it going? I can't.
Pretty good.
All right.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's get into it then, right? Well, yep. I wanna have some input on the violence of these rappers that comes up in the game, and the main topic is FBG Duck. And I heard that he had some beef with other guys. He's from Gangsta Disciples area, and the other side next to him is BD's Black Disciples. And I heard that King Von is one of those guys from the opposite side of him. And I heard that he's the one that alleged had put a price on his head. But at the same time, King Von is dead as well. I mean, passed as well. So I want to see if y'all give me some input about what's going on with this guy and how y'all feel about it, and how y'all feel about this violence and all the things that's going on with the rappers that's coming up right now.
It's not just the rappers. This is Black people, period. It's just Black on Black crimes, period. So it's not just the rappers.
I agree.
Yeah, I have to agree too. It's heartbreaking, you know, and then they are so young, you know, they leave their kids, they're leaving kids behind, you know, and they're leaving the mothers to have to explain why they don't have a dad, or, you know, why they're not here. You know, it's very much so heartbreaking because these rappers and these young Black men are leaving this earth 21, 20, 19, 18. You know, a month ago, you know, they had a rapper gunned down for vandalizing a mural, you know, get killed on live. You know, it's just sad. It's heartbreaking. You know, our Black people have to do a whole lot better.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree. And you know what I really think about this is that you know what I mean, when you're affiliated with something and you coming up like you know what I mean, I grew up around that same type of area, you know what I mean, on that same type of demonstration. But when you growing up and you don't have nothing, like one of my guys had told me that, man, it's easy to take a life, but can you create a life? You feel what I'm saying? It's better to, you know what I mean, it's hard to create a life, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to pop you know what I mean, and have anybody shoot you and shit, but that don't make, you know what I mean, you a man. Create one, you see what I'm saying? So it's a trip on how, you know what I mean, these kids come into the game and try to prove themselves into something that they, you know what I mean, that they grew up around, but at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean, these rappers, and they say these things that's on the internet. Like when we was coming up, we didn't have no internet, no platform to be just telling on each other. You know what I'm saying? And when you're doing things that's out of pocket, and I just heard something about 5 guys got, you know what I mean, got charged with it. And the guy had found that he had the car in his name. Now that was just some retarded shit to me. You know what I mean? When you got beef with somebody and shit, I mean, real killers don't say shit. They don't talk about shit. You see what I'm saying? Let the dark, you know what I mean, whatever's in the dark come to light, but they'll wait for that light, that shit to come out. You know what I mean? They keep it in the dark until they motherfucking leave this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? But right. I mean, certain situations as little kids, and when you really just beefing with each other like that, you know what I mean? That's your brother. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's who you is. You know what I mean? Y'all right next door to each other. You know what I mean? I grew up around vice lords and gangster disciples, but I had a friend that I grew up in school with that was a vice lord, but at the same time, shit, nigga, you good with me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at that. It was ignorant to me. If it didn't make sense, then I didn't ride with it. You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm just looking at it like, man, it's a messed up situation. But these kids, they get money that they never had before. They never had this money before. So once they get money, they feel like they God, or they just empower themselves. You know what I'm saying? Off of something they never had before. And once they do it, they feel like, okay, boom, now you got a team and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? On some shit. But you don't do shit like that. It's not organized for you to be having yourself out there like that. You know what I mean? To motherfucking hit somebody up, with you leaving the trails about shit, like you buying a car and then taking it back, and they know that the black motherfucking scar. You know what I mean? Back in the day with these, I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Certain guys, you know what I mean? They stole cars. You know what I'm saying? The shit that needed to be done, it was handled the way it needed to be done. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't done where it's a manner where, you know what I mean, let the motherfucking investigators investigate. You know what I mean? But it was handled the way it needed to be done, in a manner where it was silent. It was not open like that. You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a trip on how these youngsters come in the game and doing shit, being unaffiliated with shit that they don't have. They riding and die for something that they don't even know about. You see what I'm saying? So you know yourself, then shit. I mean, come on, it's crazy. So I just want to ask y'all. So do y'all know anything about King Von death and how he got killed?
No, I mean, I'm assuming he died by the gun, but I don't know what it was about, who did it.
He was fighting. He had a fight. He was fighting somebody, and I guess the person who was fighting didn't want to take that L. So I guess they went in and got their gun and shot him. I guess that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, that he lived by the gun, you die by it, man. And I mean, tell you the truth, man, I want to shout out to whoever that's listening, whoever that's checking in or peeping out this show. I have a son. I love my son. You know what I'm saying? And on the next show of what's going on or anything else, I want to have it where I want to talk to the men that what changed you when you had your first child? Because when I had my first child, it changed me. So I mean, it brought real life to me. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, it just, I mean, it's like when you have a child, man, it's a lot of shit that just come into play with shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because these kids that's out here that's rapping and they fighting is just retarded. It's like, come on, cuz. You see what I'm saying? Like, what do you live for? You got to live and die for something. You see what I'm saying? And when you making music and you telling people exactly what you're doing, that's just young shit. That's just retarded shit. Now you in jail for a nice period of time and you just telling people exactly and putting them in. That's not music. That's not music. Music's supposed to make you feel good. When you talk about music, you're supposed to create with your mind to bring stuff alive. You know what I mean? If you're not creating with your mind to bring it alive, then you just throwing shit out there. But the things that you've been doing and talking about this reality shit, these motherfuckers don't do that shit in movies. They use blanks and guns. They don't use real guns and shoot the motherfuckers. But why in the hell is y'all using and showing people real motherfucking guns and, you know what I mean, in videos and shit? Why is y'all doing that? I mean, I don't understand why they would do that type of shit. And
they're making a name for themselves.
Yeah, because they trying to make it as it's just the real in the streets of what's going on, but real, you know what I mean, shit that goes on, you know what I mean? You gotta change it up, because look, you don't prove it to everybody that you have a strap when you don't have a strap. You feel what I'm saying? If I don't have a strap, you wouldn't even know if I had one, just by the way I carry myself. Just like a person that's paid. You don't even know if this person paid or not. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be cognito and not so predictable about your situations on doing shit. This guy FBG Duck got killed, but he was letting it be known about where his locations was at, where he going, things like that. The FBI, as well as we doing this show, we talk about how we feel the same way I know if I can talk to an FBI agent right in front of me. Because I know that these motherfuckers are listening. And I know that this show and this everything that we doing, that everybody listen, the police and everybody, and they have people that infiltrate motherfucking gangs. It's been from the beginning of the time of gang means get a nigga guilty. I'm not gonna get all into the literature of what's going on with shit, but when it comes down to one gang and that's life, and it, you know what I mean, once you get a nigga guilty off of how he's saying, Then I got you guilty on how you stand. The next thing you know, I can push your triggers. I can push your buttons. I can get you mad. I can fuck with you. And that's exactly what the motherfuckers do. Once they throw some shit out there, say whatever a Tukey or whatever they saying about some shit to get a nigga guilty off of what the reaction is, off of what they throwing out there, and now I got you guilty off of it, now we got you. Now we can fuck with you. Now we can motherfucking push your buttons. Now we can do these. And I want y'all to understand this shit because that's exactly what motherfuckers do. That's how we came up. Once I get you guilty about how you stand, nigga, that's what it is. Like, you better stand on that. If you won't stand on what you get you off of, then that's what's up. You talk to me, I'm gonna tell you what I stand on. Life is the first game. It's always been a game. It's always been a bang. When you motherfucking under life, but when it comes down, because life take care of itself. But at the same time, when you got other things that's branching off and all this other shit that's coming into play and dividing themselves and shit like that, and you get guilty off of what it is off the game, and that goes for all men. That's when they fuck up. That's when they motherfucking throw it out there and they know what you about. You can't be ashamed of who you are and what you stand on. And that's just what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys, man, it's sad, but you don't put no guns in. I mean, utilize the shit as a movie. You know what I mean? We look at movies all the time and shit. We see these motherfuckers get killed and all kinds of shit. But you gotta, you know what I mean, make these videos, utilize, you know what I mean, get some motherfucking play guns or whatever, but you know what I mean? You gotta know how to act it. Gotta know how to carry it. That ain't making you fake or none of that shit because you putting it out there like that. Y'all keeping it real to yourself and you're really real and you killing yourself. You feel what I'm saying? So
I got a comment.
That's a comment.
This is a part of the game. They worth more dead than alive, not on a financial standout for the ongoing violence that will take place afterwards. It's called the game for a reason. When these rappers becoming signed to a record label, the record label already has a life insurance policy in place for them. They allow what takes place. They encourage them to buy expensive items and vehicles to create an illusion as well, to create jealousy amongst his environment. If black artists can wake up and leave the game alone, it'll be better for the black community. But at this point, the young black men in urban neighborhoods are too far in. And then Stacy says, I didn't know anything about him until after he passed, but from what I've heard from other people who listen to his music, that his killing may have had something to do with King Von. That's what I heard.
Yeah. And it is a game. It's a big game, you know what I mean? But you know, everything got a meaning to it. And like I said, when you under life, you get these meanings because game means gotta make enemies. And when you selling dope, you gotta make an enemy. You gotta make enemies. And so these guys, that's what they throw out there because it's a game to them. Life is not a game to us when we motherfucking out there. We ain't gotta, you know what I mean? I don't gotta make no enemies in order for me to get paid. I don't gotta do this shit in order for me to do, because that's exactly how they motherfucking man thinks of the game. Because you gotta make an enemy in order for you to, just like, you know what I mean, in order for you to have some type of big paper type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But see, all I want to see, I want to give these advices to everyone out there, the shorties, the homies, the little niggas that's out there that's rapping and everything. Make your money, but understand that it is a game to a lot of other people that's not your people. It's a game to them. They making you, they pulling the strings, gotta make an enemy. And they got, you know what I mean? When you doing good shit, you're gonna make it, and you know what I mean, have somebody talk shit about you and all that type of shit. But at the same time, you gotta understand how to love your own shit. You see what I'm saying? Doing it for your own self. You feel what I'm saying? Handling the business on how you doing it because the motherfuckers hating because what I'm doing wrong, nigga. I've been, you know what I mean? When you doing some bogus shit as a shorty, you get tired of that. Like we had a little talk about last time. We get tired of that. You get older, you're like, okay, look, what can I do to motherfucking do this shit right and at the same time be relevant in this game? You see what I'm saying? Well, the only enemy that I have is like, that's going against me when I'm not even going against you. You feel what I'm saying? You just hating on me because I'm doing something. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm flourishing, because I'm because of the way I stand, because I'm the way I look, the way I am. You see what I'm saying? That's better than getting motherfucking enemies that's just going against you because you throwing up some that you won't even know nothing about, or you motherfucking even don't know about it. But at the same time, you bring attention to other motherfuckers that don't give a fuck about it neither. You see what I'm saying? Or looking at shit amongst each other. Know that life is the biggest game that it is. You know what I mean? And everything have a motherfucking meaning to it. So it's, you know what I mean, gotta make enemies, and that's what the game is. And if your life, if you treat your life not as a game, then shit, you don't know this shit. Knowledge yourself. You know what I mean? Be knowledgeable about this business that's going on out here with each other. You know what I'm saying? Get your money and help. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Help yourself out. Stop trying to, your friends, the closest friends that's to you, be your worst enemy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Some people, they just don't know how to separate the two. I believe that when you are just a normal person and you starting out and you're not a artist or nothing, and you finally come to realization that you have that type of talent to be that artist, whatever you're doing in your past life, that's when you should separate the two, because you never want to have the two together, rapping and gang banging in the same thing, because you're bound to have problems in the gang banging world, and you're bound to have problems even more 10 times in the rap industry, because not only are you a rapper, but you are a gang member and a drug dealer, which is like you bringing 10 times more attention to yourself. So it's like you have to, I say that the younger generation should just like weigh out the options and think, do I want to continue to be a gang banger and a drug dealer and rap, or do I just want to rap and just put the gang banging shit to a halt? Because you have to put that shit to a halt, because it's either, if you don't, you can't think you're going to be living a normal life and be living a family life trying to be big time and gang banging at the same time, because it's just not going to work. You have to put one to the side. You have to do one or the other. You can't have both, but the young generation want both,
You know what?
You can't have it.
You know what? I just want to say that like you were saying, I agree with you on that. You know what I mean? But I blame a lot of OGs, a lot of guys that really know what's going on. I blame a lot of guys that's not letting these niggas know. Like Larry Hoover, man, he's just the gangster disciple type of situation, but the BDs is under David. You see what I'm saying? So both of them united. But now Larry Hoover is in jail forever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, his changing up still have niggas out there that's saying gangster disciples when he changed it up to be growth and development. But at the same time, with black disciples go against light-skinned people, as well as light-skinned men going against black men. You see what I'm saying? But you got to understand that the education of it comes from the Willie Lynch Project, with light-skinned going against he already said it way before this shit even popped off with the man of slavery. If we as grown-ups, as we knowing that our children, and I look at these niggas like my brothers, my little homies, you know what I'm saying? They could be my son. You feel what I'm saying? And I love you know what I mean? You love your children. So you guys to look at this shit as like, what can you give these guys? Let them know the truth about what's going on with this shit. Because if you just let them be free willy the way they be free willy, fatherless, being a bastard ass child, and you out there just making money and you never seen it before, they wilding out and not giving a fuck about the shit. But at the same time, if you having an OG that motherfucking know what's going on and what you motherfucking riding and what you standing on shit like that, you got to understand the consequences that comes with what you standing on. You born into life, nigga. All these guys was born into life. You feel what I'm saying? So you stick with that. With all these infiltrating ass demonstrations that comes into play while you living, that's a whole different type of spirit.
But you got a lot of OGs out here that got all these young niggas out here doing a lot of things
that exactly
for their own game.
Exactly. Like I just said about Larry Hoover, they asked him out by him saying him gangster disciple and changing it up. It's niggas that's out there still saying gangster disciple instead of saying growth and development. It's niggas that I know that I grew up around that's saying fuck nigga, I'm renegade. You know what I'm saying? Renegades is like they don't give no fuck about whoever you ride, nigga. We just about to get our money and just let this shit fly. You feel what I'm saying? But so it's a lot of OG motherfuckers that still seeing that the money is and allowing these guys to be like that. Like David, like the one that's under the BDs. I'm like I was telling my homegirl, like I was telling my girl, it's like when you dealing with certain people, the way your mind thinks, if you start making money, they trying to offer you. Once you stop making money, it's time for you to stop breathing. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of motherfuckers that think like that when you under some type of affiliation like that. Once you under something and you feel like, okay, look, nigga, you making us some money. Now you stop and you got a spark in your brain. Like Pac say, once you spark the nigga brain up and then he's trying to change it up, then that's when he motherfucking starts finding himself and he let that shit go. Nigga, we gonna have to pop him ass off. We're gonna let his ass go. So it's hard. It's easy to get in because you're around the shit. But once you motherfucking get involved in shit, and then you just start making money and shit, the motherfuckers stop, then it's time for your ass to go. That's how they feel. That's the way they thinking. You know what I'm saying? Off a lot of shit. So, I mean, you can't think like other motherfuckers, man. And I got, you know what I mean? I just hope that the right people that's hear this and see what's going on with shit and understand that make music, create with your mind to bring shit alive. Show love in your heart and you'll be a star. You can't be motherfucking doing that shit by just motherfucking not showing love in your heart to be a star. That comes together. You see what I'm saying? And if you're not creating that shit and putting it in and putting in that work where it's helping somebody else out, where you still keeping it relevant as you spitting your shit, talk about women, talk about your family, talk about your homies that passed. Women, I mean, I'm gonna ask y'all this. When in the hell did we motherfucking start laughing at other people's deaths and shit? You see what I'm saying? These guys laughing at people dead. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know that. Even a nigga that's my enemy, nigga, I ain't gonna be like, man, nigga, yeah, nigga, your ass dead. Fuck your mama. Man, when do we do that?
That's the younger generation. They have no filter or no care or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just like you said earlier, man. It's a lot of old heads that ain't even, you know what I mean, caring either, and not even letting they allowing that shit to them. You see what I'm saying? And we as an adult of me knowing that shit or where we come from, you know what I mean? You know, we all know that Chicago is the gang island. You know what I'm saying? We all know that, you know what I mean, that shit originated in Chicago. But at the same time, we got to look at each other and look at the whole demonstration of what was going on with that shit. Why would you motherfucking create a life, nigga? Understand what, like I said earlier, what make you change? What can make you change? Because men change all the time. What can make you change to have you, you know what I mean, that made you change if you had a child and shit? If I had a child, you know what I mean, that just made me change and shit. But I mean, it's some things that's out here, man. It's just crazy on how these little niggas be jumping into shit. Because I just said, they never had nothing before. They never had no 10 stacks, 100 stacks, and all this shit. And once they get that shit, they don't know how to act. You know what I mean? And just like, look, I'm empowered. I'm making more money than a nigga making a 9-to-5 job. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
I got another comment. Most of the time, their music creates enemies, not haters. Haters will always exist in any level of life, but enemies are a whole nother level. So yeah. He's right. It's the rules to the game that creates the game. If you can understand what I mean, most rappers aren't signed to a record label or be humble. Humble music don't sell and it doesn't last for an individual who produces it. The reason why so many deaths such as FBG Duck is because the type of atmosphere he was a part of and what he projected into his life so far as his lyrics. Yeah, it's a hustle. And at the end of the day, that's like yelling, hit me in the middle of the street and expecting not to get hit. Either you live or you die. You playing with your life.
Period. I like that input. That's exactly what's going on. Thank you for that comment, for whoever that said it, but that really was Leo. Real. That was really real, man. It's just, yeah. Basically, that's exactly what's up, man. The motherfuckers, you live by the sword, you die by it. You know what I mean? Your words as a man, and you say some shit and you letting it be known about some shit, it's gonna come out the way it is, just by the way the environment is or the rules of it. But as men, we supposed to stand as law. You know what I mean? Our law of what we stand, but we ain't gonna know that. That's law of the good die young. You know what I'm saying? Because they not knowing it. You see what I'm saying? And once they into it and they feel like that's what's going on, they just, you know what I mean, let the shit fly and whatever happens, happens. When I was 23 years old, I didn't think I was gonna live to 25 years old. I just didn't feel that type of way. You know what I mean? Just because that's what it is. But just But once you have something of purpose of really looking at shit that's of you, it's like, man, damn, this a change, dog. I gotta understand this shit, man. I know my son gonna go through this type of shit. You know what I mean? The same shit I've been through. So now I got a child, you know what I mean? I gotta let him know what's going on that demonstration. You feel what I'm saying? On how this shit is and why in the fuck I gotta wear my head like this? Oh, you gangster disciple, nigga, turn your shit this way or this. Nigga, you wear your shit wherever you want to, son. You can do that. You know what I'm saying? Just by you standing on your own ground. You see what I'm saying? But we have to know that. We have to talk to our children and let them know shit. Because a lot of shit that goes on with the environment we be in, man, is tripped out. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get to see the interview with the mom
Yeah, I seen a little bit of her, you know what I mean?
and how she was saying like her son's not out here like that? He's not associated with no gang.
Yeah, but I mean, I saw different. I mean, at the same time, I'm not gonna, rest in peace, to his mom and everything on the real note. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, like I said, with Boosie Badass, he talk about, he tell you, nigga, I'm a rapper, nigga. I'm not in the streets no more. You know what I mean? When you become a rapper, nigga, you gotta be committed to this shit. That's just your job. This is really what I want to do. You know what I mean? So the things that's going on in the streets, I can, you know what I mean, say shit to try to make some shit pop off, but I'm not in the streets doing this shit that I'm talking about and all that shit. And he'll let you know that. You know what I mean? But when I seen his mom saying the things that when she said that he's not in the streets, I see different from dude. He was a bully. He was he's like you're in school and shit. You know what I mean? I see what it is with dude. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them guys that, you know what I mean, you go to school, you click up with guys and shit, you know what I mean? And you don't fuck with him. He was quick, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? You know what I mean? Niggas was scared of him. You see what I'm saying? Niggas was afraid of dude. You see what I'm saying? And once you bring that type of fear into the play, then that's what brings the game into the play. You see what I'm saying? Once you bring the game into play, then that's what brings the game into play. You see what I'm saying? So all that type of shit adds up to make that whole little demonstration of what he doing as he living. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just saying when it comes down to it, I mean, you know what I mean? His mom, I mean, that's what she can't, I mean, damn, that's her son and everything, even with King Von. You see what I'm saying? Either with all of them. And I don't give a fuck. I don't pick no sides on none of them. You know what I'm saying? I go where the fuck I want to go. I don't pick no sides on them because they're young men trying to grow up. You know what I mean? And at the same time, that's just what it is. And the mothers, you know what I mean? Sorry, you know what I mean? The condolences to his mom and everything else. But the point is that he was living a life that he was like that. He was one of them guys like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep, pretty
Watching
much.
It all boils down to the parent. You know what I'm saying? It all boils down to the parent. You know, if you have a parent or a parent that is affiliated or that's a gang member, you know, and the kids see, and you know, kids imitate, kids do what they see, and when they get older, they remember that and they do what they was taught or what they felt was right. So, you know, you got to remember too that, you know, it was also something that he was born into because his father was a gang member as well. So it wasn't like he just chose to do it. You know, he was born into that type of lifestyle because his father lived it as well. So what he chose to do was live up after his father and continue to do it. You know, it's like a generational curse. Somewhere down the line, we have to break that curse and be an example in a positive way because the youth now is looking up to each and every last one of us, rapper, artist, singer, actress, comedian, poetry artist, whatever you do, the younger generation now is looking at that. So you want to make sure that you lead by example and not by default because you don't want the kids to follow in that same footstep. Just being honest.
All right, here's a couple more comments. Well, if that's the case, it's just a job. How can you put out BS and not expect to face repercussions? Like I said, what you put out is what you get back. Bullies look for enemies, even you're not a bad person at heart. Your music attract bad people to you. They don't give a fuck about your personal life. They want what you put out, your music. And then another comment says, I think I read somewhere that brother was killed too.
Yeah. I mean, as men, what you put out is yours. You know what I mean? You get held accountable for your own actions, man. You know what I mean? You get a hold accountable. What you say out your mouth, you better be careful what you say out your mouth. Because it comes to you. We not being careful to others that you try to defend or whatever. I'm talking about just to you. You know what I mean? Because whatever you throw out your mouth and put it out there, you better stand on what you throw out there when you become a grown ass man. You know what I mean? Because you get held accountable for your own shit. And a lot of these rappers that's young now, they not caring about what the fuck they saying. They just trying to get the bag. You know what I mean? That's all they looking at. They're not looking at what, you know what I mean? They looking at like shit, say what the fuck ever and pop it out and fuck that nigga, fuck that. And they feel as though that's what brings them money. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I said, when y'all asked me about my music when I first had this interview, and y'all asked me what do I want to do with my music and shit, I want the young people to learn from it. I want my generations to relate to it, and I want the old heads to remember. So at the same time, with all the women, the mothers that have lost their children, go to church. You know what I mean? Embrace God. You know what I mean? You'll see your son again just by you knowing what's going on with that demonstration. And you remember what I'm saying by you knowing what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm talking about by the old heads remembering what I'm coming from on that type of tip. Churches is not made just made to be churches and shit. It's purpose with that shit. You see what I'm saying? There's reason with that. I don't go to funerals because I believe in the living, not the dead. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that just, ain't no easy way out. This man had got killed on the streets of violence of gang shit, but it's still one way to get to heaven. So at the same time, you got to understand that this kid had died off of some shit that he had popped into play that's ignorant, that he still have to, regardless of what you're saying on the Gang City Disciples and all that shit, you still have to have that greatest commandments in your hands. That's your life in your hands got to be taken care of. Your mother have to carry that, you know what I mean? Still have to make sure that that's straight in order for you to get to heaven. So you passed on to something else, dog. You know what I mean? For his mom to understand that type of shit, for him to see his children, for her to see her children, as well as she embracing to comfort her heart up from her loss from her child, from being out in the streets on some ignorant shit. But it still goes around, it's all still revolves around Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I want them to remember. And when they remember what I'm saying, they will understand where I'm coming from by the old heads, by losing their children off of the shit that's going on that's not from above. You feel what I'm saying? Off of what's going on some bullshit.
Yeah, we got to pay attention to what the kids watch nowadays now.
Yeah. So what about the Carlos Los guy?
Carlos Los guy. Oh, that's the guy that
he was the one who bought the car, had the car in his name, took the pictures, put them all on social media. And when they brought him in for questioning, and he was this world's dumbest criminal.
He just told it all. He had that the car that he used, he had got it from the dealership, but he used that for the lick. He did that for the hit. You know what I'm saying? And that was stupid. And that was just retarded on your end by if you really, trying to do some shit and you gonna go get a car and then do the hit, then take the car back in your name and all that shit. Niggas didn't do no shit like that. Nigga, we stole cars, motherfuckers blew that shit up. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers didn't do no shit like that. You know what I mean? And niggas, half of the niggas that's inside your crew didn't know shit about what's going on. You see what I'm saying? About hitting motherfuckers up. Motherfuckers don't know shit about it. Niggas like, oh yeah, you cool, they leave that shit alone. And niggas didn't say shit about what was going on, but shit happens the way it happened. You see what I'm saying? So, like I say, kids do shit and do shit. You see what I'm saying? And they throwing shit out there about how shit going. It's just, you know what I mean? Dude did a retarded shit and snitched on everybody on the whole nine of it. You know what I mean? But, who's to hide it though? You know what I mean? Shit, they did that, and it's gonna get help. It's gonna be dealt with. So
then his lawyer tried to clean it up, but couldn't.
Too much snitching.
Clean that
Too
shit
much
up.
snitching. Too much snitching. Too much snitching going on. Too much snitching. It's just
it wasn't even so much as snitching. It was just like at the end of the day, he had already told himself from social media. So I mean, he was done.
Done.
It was like you know you done fucked up, right?
Yeah. On the real. Like, man, on the real. He laughed. He can understand. We see he's laughing at your ass, nigga. You see how stupid your ass. He thinking about that shit now in jail. Like, damn, that was some dumb shit. That was some dumb shit. Cause you ain't got nothing but time but to think, nigga.
They say you don't think about it till you locked down.
Hell no, you don't. Hell yeah, you don't think about shit. Oh, damn, why I do that? All that shit come into play. Everything coming to play. Like I just said about Larry Hoover, you know what I mean? They X a lot of shit out on Larry Hoover because he's looking at a different light than what he came up off of. Men change. You see what I'm saying? This man been in there, you know what I mean, for a nice period of time, but he changed from Gangsta Disciples to GD, but at the same time, niggas on the street still saying Gangsta Disciples, and he changed into, he trying to do some community shit. He trying to do, he want to get the fuck out of jail. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if he probably found God and none of that in jail, but I'm saying I'll pray that he did. But at the same time, that's what it is, you know. But they know how big this man is. You see what I'm saying? And if he come out, he might get popped. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know what I mean. But the point is that men change. You know what I'm saying? And once you get locked down and take your freedom away, you ain't got nothing but time just to think about what the fuck you have done, and you don't know what was coming to the play to save you. You know what I'm saying? That could be. I mean, it's gonna take some time, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on some shit like that, but it's people that's out there that's really, you know what I mean, that's not even under Larry Hoover, but claiming they GDs, but at the same time, they asked him out off of that type of shit. You see what I'm saying? So.
But I thought Larry Hoover was sentenced to death, or am I thinking about the wrong person?
Larry Hoover,
You're thinking about Tookie.
Oh, okay. So Tookie Williams was the one who wrote the kids' book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tookie is the Crip. He the Crip leader.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? But I mean, Larry Hoover, the Gangsta Disciples, and David they was connected. You know what I mean? They was united as BDs and shit. It was like black gangsters, the BGDs back in the day. You know what I mean? When our old heads was coming up type of shit. You know what I mean? But all that shit is originated in Chicago and how that shit came about. And Larry Hoover's still in jail. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like shit. You know what I mean? Men change. You know what I'm saying? When you get that motherfucker some time and shit, and people that's on the streets, like I said, people just claiming up, throwing out anything. They call it old block, call it this, call it, you know what I mean, EBT gang, or all kinds of shit. You see what I'm saying? Just throwing out some shit with no structure, no, you know what I mean, no foundation on it, and saying, oh, this, that, niggas, like I said, motherfuckers call it like renegades and the whole nine. And the renegades is really real. Like on, you know what I mean, they still GDs, but at the same time, they like shit, nigga. Anybody can get it type of shit. EBT, EBKs, you know what I mean? All that type of shit. So niggas just throwing out, even when you, like I came up, it's around your hood. You know what I mean? Like I said, I came around Vice Lords, Gangsta Disciples, but at the same time, it was all family. You know what I mean? I call folks because that was my homie. You my folks, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if you was a Vice Lord or not. You nigga, you folks because you my homie and I feel as though you like my family. You know what I'm saying? So family was folks, you know what I mean? Just like old heads talk about, man, them white folks over there, them black folks, it was family. It was just, you know what I mean, people. But when you divide yourself and you start dividing shit and start, you know what I mean? Like I said, the way of you thinking is not the same way I'm thinking. I don't think like that the way you thinking that the folks is, the way this Gangsta Disciple is, the way this G is. You feel what I'm saying? And when once you divide that off your own self, then that becomes a problem. Even with men and women, you see what I'm saying? Shit, she my developer off my growth. You know what I mean? I can't get no growth off of her developing my growth. You see what I'm saying? They gotta make sense for that to be popping into play. But when you got this shit that's going on with the vision of your own self, then that's when the shit pops the fuck off and become ignorant, then shit happens.
So is it really a gang called EBT though?
No.
No.
Hey, it probably is though. I ain't gonna
say what? EBT. What they doing? Carrying EBT cards around?
Who they beefing with? Chime?
Hey, I know some guys named EBT. Shit.
No,
I mean, hey, it might be. I wouldn't put it past it.
EBT.
I wouldn't put it past it.
EBT game.
And they beefing with Chime.
And they on the real. I'm medicated against your EBT.
It was a clique called. It was a clique. I don't understand. What's CA?
CA?
I ain't never heard of him.
Oh, it was I'm reading the comments. It was a clique that called themselves EBT. Wow.
Yeah. I think I heard it in Chicago, right?
In Chicago?
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
then
have to look that up.
Leo says it's a guy named EBT.
I know a guy named EBT. He go by
Probably the
EBT.
same guy he know.
I
From
know a
over
guy
north?
named EBT.
He said from over north?
Yeah, over north. Yeah.
That's
We both know the same EBT dude.
Y'all crazy.
She said no, it's not in Chicago, it's here.
Oh, okay. Shit,
Oh,
Minnesota.
when they was growing up.
Oh, that must be back in the yesteryears.
Well, they younger than me, so ain't that old.
I never heard of them.
Yeah, I ain't know.
I was born in the 80s.
Yeah, it's a trip.
They was born in the 90s.
New school.
Yeah.
It's always them new schoolers, them 90s babies, coming up with these names.
And all these, clicks and whatnot, and all this extra dumb stuff they doing.
All the other shit.
It's crazy. But I think, and then it's still, it's still like a lot of old heads out here gang banging. If you in your 50s and 60s and you still out here gang banging, something wrong.
Not the 50s, that's the 60s.
Trust me. I know an old nigga that's still out here trying to gang bang and still got foot soldiers out here. That's ridiculous.
What do you be saying? Oh, crip cuz.
But you know what though? There's a lot of old motherfuckers that's out here that still sell drugs too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of old motherfuckers that still sell crack. You know what I mean? They still out here doping, you know what I mean, and on the block and doing shit like that. So I mean,
thinking that shit cool,
it is
huh?
what it is.
Ain't cool, sit your old ass down somewhere.
Wanna be pimps.
Be somebody's granddaddy.
I can't call it, man. We all, I can't call
They say
it.
they went from gangs to cliques. They don't really do gangs no more.
See,
They do hardcore gang banging.
But you know what? I'm put it like this.
Some of these dudes out here gang banging, they so weak. Like, come on.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm gonna say about the rapping thing. They had you know how like DJ like Dr. Dre and MWA, they come up with their own little shit. You know what I mean? These guys was just, they from LA and all that shit, but they wasn't actually doing the banging shit. They was just, you know what I mean, saying shit, you know what I mean, this G shit. I mean, you gotta know how to maneuver your words and still make it legitimate. You know what I mean? Like on some really real shit. Like I got breadwinners. I said breadwinners. It's not a game. It's just the way, you know what I mean, saying it. Like born righteous, educated, and driven, words inspirational, necessary, addictive. So point is, I said it as being breadwinners as the music group. You see what I'm saying? These are my guys that I'm putting out there. You know what I mean? They ain't got no affiliate. I mean, but you got to know how to do that. You got to know how to make hits, know how to make the motherfucking songs like that. You see what I'm saying? And if they're not creating with their mind to bring shit alive like that, then that's what becomes their problem. Because they really actually talking about and disrespecting other people that's around them type of shit. You see what I'm saying?
I've always said this and I'm still gonna say it. I feel like the best music is the music that's actually written from truth and experience.
Exactly.
These things that these niggas is out here rapping about, they ain't experienced none of it. They just false flagging.
Exactly. And that's the truth.
Got another comment. Yeah, it's true. A lot of old men dang near ready for the nursing home or the grave, still banging, selling drugs, ain't got nothing going on, probably still living with their mom and grandma. That's real sad if that's if that's the case. If that's the case.
It is what it is, man.
I feel like some people just need to sit there and damn crack a buck.
Yeah, helping them out with more jobs than
Crack
anything.
a
There's a
bud.
lot of jobs available. Some of them just don't
It's
want
a
to
lot of jobs
It's
available.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
there's
jobs
a lot of
available.
jobs available all over the world, honey. It's a plenty of jobs.
And
Yeah.
then,
You out here.
the fellow friendly list thing for men getting out of prison. So it's, I mean, it's not no excuse, honestly.
Yeah, true that.
I feel like you out here selling drugs and shit. Polluting the neighborhood, polluting the kids' minds. You should be out here on YouTube reading books to the kids. Something.
You gotta do
Or
some shit like that.
saying something inspirational to guide them in the right direction.
Exactly.
Something.
Cause you know what? When you get your drug, when you get that, like I was talking to my girl about it, I was like, when you making your money and you get a half ounce from your guy, that's your money. But at the same time, the guys that you getting your clientele, they got jobs. They have jobs. You know what I mean? They motherfucking have a nice ass job. You know what I mean? They come and get, some shit from you. You have buku of money and shit, and you start bragging about it. You think these people that's motherfucking 9-to-5 jobs is not looking at you like, nigga, your ass ain't shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you gotta understand you a number.
Right.
That's your social security number. That social security number is an account. We supposed to already know that. We all supposed to know that. That whole no motherfucking thing is account. But if you ain't got nothing to show for how you making this money, how you getting these motherfucking cars, how you getting this house, how you motherfucking, getting these clothes, how you getting all these shoes, and you got buku of money, you showing that shit and everything else, you ain't got nothing to show for it, but how you getting that shit? You see what I'm saying? You on the block and you showing these motherfuckers all this money and all these cars you got and everything else, but at the same time, you ain't using your social security number to get your own money. You see what I'm saying? So that's the point I'm trying to make, is like, at least little kids, they be having all this money and then they, thinking that they bragging about the shit. And the 9-to-5 person that's making this motherfucking, like, nigga, shit, you ain't better than me, nigga. You know what I mean? You doing all this type of shit, whatever, then shit, it be motherfucking neighborhood watches and people talking about shit, talking about some celebrity, talking about some snitching shit for real, motherfuckers, let it be known. You see what I'm saying? Look, black car, you know what I mean? They was doing it with the dude that just died. They went over there to the show, they got cameras about the shit. The dude said, man, a black car just went down the street. They ain't about to fuck with that dude. You see what I'm saying? But the point is just being ignorant to facts, being ignorant to the shit that you motherfucking so motherfucking geeked up to be seeing that you never had before. You know what I mean? All that money without having no backup plan on the shit that you doing with the shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip.
Let's talk about these OGs and why they out here doing it though. Because a lot of things they got them out here doing, they scared to do themselves.
Exactly.
And then they'll get popped off and go do time and think because they didn't snitch, they supposed to get out and they supposed to be looked at like or praised like, they somebody. You are somebody. You a damn fool is what you is. You a fool.
Yeah.
But then they put the pressure on their family when they get locked up. Not the niggas they was running the streets with and committing these crimes and doing all these murders and shit with. They don't look at them. Half the time they can't even get them on the phone. But then they'll be mad and feel some type of way towards their family. Still get out and still run the street with these same niggas that you couldn't even count on when you went in.
Yeah. You jeopardizing your family on the same shit. That's what I said when I was doing shit. It's like, if I'm do shit like this, then that still jeopardize my family. Because if I'm doing this, then they niggas know who my family is or this, you know what I mean? I bet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it like this, then I'll be, I'll be damned if you fuck with my family. A lot of these homies that you fucking with, that you grew up with, them your guys, and I'm not knocking none of my guys that I grew up with, but at the same time, shit, they ain't put no money on my books. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
The motherfuckers they ain't calling me up and letting me know what's going on when I'm locked the fuck down. It was nothing but family. You see what I'm saying? My sisters, you know what I mean? Your girl, your woman, you know what I mean? Your mom, you know what I mean? Your daddy, your uncles, you know what I mean? Your family, period. Forever always multiplying in love. Them your family. Them niggas that's your homies and shit. Them your homies, cuz. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, when shit hit the fan, you'll be surprised how many motherfucking infiltrating ass niggas that's inside your clique that's quick to motherfucking yap just like a bitch and real quick to tell you every damn thing that you need to know. You see what I'm saying? Just because they not giving a fuck about you, but they thinking about their family. You see what I'm saying? So understand that type of situation. You see what I'm saying? Because the homies ain't gonna be there for you like that. You know what I'm saying? They there for you in the streets by making money, but at the same time, like I said, 9 times out of 10, jealousy causes hate. Niggas get jealous and shit. Once they motherfucking start hating on your ass, nigga, you'll never know who the fuck around you that you be inside your clique. It's only take one nigga to say some shit and pop your ass the fuck off and hit you up, and then be your closest homie.
That's true.
It can be.
That's fact. That's so true.
So yeah, y'all, it's this going to be a very short interview, I think. Do we got some comments, Yolanda?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people knew him.
Yeah, I didn't know him.
They did it.
So did he just come out?
He was out, but I think
he been out.
Yeah, he been out. He was talking to Tekashi 6ix9ine on live one time.
That's if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that's Dirk's cousin. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, I didn't really know him neither, though, tell you the truth. Until you told me about him, I just
don't shoot the messenger.
It says OG rappers like Jeezy, Shy Millionaire, Ice-T, Fat Joe, etc. are entrepreneurs. They don't gang bang no more. Oh, okay. You know why? Because they beat the game. They lost periodically to the game. Yeah, but they came out alive. If that's the path you choose to make money, rap game, then understand the game. Even though I'm against majority of the game's agenda for the messes, but it's a cold game. Who only had one song? So FBG only had one song, or who?
FBG Duck, he had a few songs. I was checking out the song, but you know what? The song that really stood out is that
I couldn't even tell you if I heard his music or not, because I hear songs, but if the beat don't catch me, I ain't gonna inquire about the song. So I don't know.
He was underground. You know what I mean? A lot of his songs was something that.
Yeah, I'm a music head, and he's one person I never heard of.
I didn't hear him. I mean,
so what kind of music is it? Like that hardcore rap? Like,
oh no, that's gangster rap. They be making them raps kind of like they don't let the GDs in the dope type of music.
They say he only had one song people knew. What song was that?
I mean, the diss song was what opened it up. I think.
What diss song? What was the name of it?
He had a diss song. He had a diss song I just got through checking out. And he just naming all kinds of names of his oppositions of the other people. And he just naming a lot of shit, saying and laughing, just really joking about telling motherfuckers that nigga fuck that and fuck this, that your dude died and all this type of shit and everything else.
Like that's where the problem be coming in at. Why do you have to do all that? Rapping then became a whole. That's why I'm saying the gangbangers then turned the rap into a whole. I'ma get in the rap gang and I'ma diss all the gangbangers and diss they dead homies and all this and throw up the set and that is so crazy. You just took the fun out of rapping. Like that's crazy.
That's not music.
The song that they said was popular is called "If You Gonna Slide Pussy Nugget and Slide, Then Let Fucking Shots Fire." Then.
Yeah, that one I heard that one. I mean, I just got through hearing that one, but it was that one right there is one of the. He was talking about the other guys he beefing with, and he was just letting them be known together.
Is it up tempo?
It's like in the middle. It's just the ride too. You can ride the beat ride. You know what I'm saying? But
you should listen to it, Londa.
Check it out.
I should listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it when I get in my truck.
You should listen to it.
I'm gonna be rolling like if you go slide, slide. So is that bringing your show to a conclusion? Hold on, though, B-Love. Any other time you be,
I mean,
we gotta tell you to let somebody else have the mic. You don't got a lot to say tonight.
I said my piece though. I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't really know dude about that. You know what I mean? And I don't really condone that bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I don't really, you know what I mean, tell you the truth. I mean, like I said, I come up around what's both on what's going on, but I don't know. I can't, I mean, nigga, I'm not glorifying that death shit with these motherfuckers. I'm not telling, you know what I mean, motherfuckers to go out there and start cursing other niggas out about their dead homies and nigga get paid and do the shit right. You know what I mean? If you can't challenge yourself, because if you see ain't no easy way out. That's all I'm just trying to say is like a message to this type of shit that I'm looking at. Like, nigga, y'all need to motherfucking wake the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no easy way out, nigga. Life is hard, nigga, and that's the best way to go. You see what I'm saying? When this life is hard, nigga, it makes you hard. It makes your music hard. It makes your duties hard. You see what I'm saying? But it's worth it, though. You know what I mean? It's worth it. That's what I'm trying to say to you, that you can't, once you got easy money coming into play and you got easy things coming into play, nigga, it's too easy. It makes me motherfucking shaky. You know what I'm saying? It's easy as hell I can make this money, but it feel like something gotta fuck up somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I gotta, you know what I mean? So I don't really like that easy shit. You see what I'm saying? I can have my little homie, I can just give him the gun and just, he don't know no motherfucking better. Just like King Von did with his little homie. He said, oh, you know what I mean? Shoot, say fuck Toogie, whatever, say this. And he said it. But see, that's easy, you know what I mean? You can tell a little shorty to do some shit and do this shit. That's easy shit. But it's hard for you to tell his ass not to do that shit.
That's why I say they start when they're young. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get them when it starts when they're young. You know, if these kids, you gotta watch who these kids hang around with. You gotta watch what these kids are doing. You gotta monitor these kids. You gotta listen to them. You gotta pay attention to what they are watching, what they are feeding themselves, because the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and it is the most challenging and a most very, very intelligent thing. So when a child is constantly watching something and constantly around a person, you know, you have to pay attention to that, because they can pick up those habits: gang banging, guns, violence, murder, language, whatever it is, drug selling. Kids can pick that up. That's why these kids are starting at a young age selling these drugs, doing all of this, doing all of that. And before this show ends, I just want to say to my parents out there, whether you're married or not, if you're with your baby daddy or your husband and he's a gangbanger, you need to tell him to get that shit in check and lead by example, because you do not want your sons or your daughters growing up thinking that it is okay.
Exactly.
It is not.
Do not divide yourself. What is the purpose? What is the reason? What is it doing for my family for me to claim this and be like this? Is this feeding my children? Is these motherfuckers is really motherfucking supportive of my, if they not dividing myself of my wife and my woman and my children? Because once some gangs, nigga, you know what I mean, you dividing yourself from your girl and shit. Oh, you can hit my girl and all that shit. What is the reason? What is the purpose? You know what I mean? Be on your own square. Stand on your own square. Like I said, man, ain't no easy way out.
So
you know
Kifan says, times changing, everyone want the internet money.
Yeah, a lot of people want the internet money. And when you get the internet money,
you
get exactly as you getting the internet money, you got to make sure that you getting that internet motherfucking exposure. So you got to be careful how you getting that internet money, by you just throwing that cloud out there. You throwing all your information, everything that you doing, you see what I'm saying, on the internet, being a goofy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't be that way. You see what I'm saying? How can you, why would you, I'm telling you, nigga, I'm about to go over there at Target. I'm about to be over there with 5 racks, nigga, and I'm about to go, you know what I mean? And niggas that hate me or that don't like me, shit, they posted already over there because they just waiting on me to pull up. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Why would I motherfucking do that? That's just ignorant. So if you want that internet money, you better understand the shit that comes with this internet, because you got Facebook, you got police, you got parents, you got children, and you got the FBI, and you got people that's on this motherfucker that's knowing what the fuck you saying on this motherfucking shit. and they hold that against you. My homie, I mean,
Police himself.
one of the guys that's from the career, from Gary. His name was Will. His name Will Skrilla. You know what I mean? His ass, you know what I mean, a cold ass rapper. You know what I mean? He'll, you know what I mean, Vice Lord, and I heard him. You know what I mean? I didn't get no fuck because you come from Gary and you doing some productive shit. I would support everybody. I don't care if you was from this side or you claiming this or whatever. Nigga, I'm banging that shit just because we put GI on the map. Nigga, we putting it out there. You see what I'm saying? But this nigga had made a song called Devil's Advocate. And with Devil's Advocate, he actually put in exactly what the fuck he did by killing this dude. He was saying that the devil had motherfucking told him what to do. He was racing fast and he was putting all the details in his song. And they used that shit against him in court. You see what I'm saying? So understand, if you're not mindful about the fuck, like you said, baby girl, like you said, Day, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Create with your mind to bring it alive. You got a brilliant ass mind. You can't motherfucking go beyond the bullshit that's going on around you to maneuver your words to make the shit pop out right for yourself, then that's just bullshit. So they use that same shit. They use his lyrics and his shit and his words that he had spitted on that song and indicted him and held it against him in court. He did his time, he out right now, but now he motherfucking look at a whole new light. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? People probably still don't like him, whatever. But I'm just trying to say that this man, he went through it. You see what I'm saying? And understanding what's going on with that type of shit and put it out there on that music shit. And he was the first one I ever heard that motherfuckers had used in court about what the fuck he actually said in his raps. So this internet shit, and you putting that shit out there, even with your music and anything that you putting out there, you better make sure you know what you putting out there. You see what I'm saying? And hold your ground on what you put out there.
Hold your ground.
That's it.
Because once you put that shit out there, you can't take it back.
Exactly. Really real.
You cannot take it back. You cannot take it back. What you manifest is manifested.
So, B-LOV, I had taken it on to a new topic. I wanted to ask you about Steve Harvey and his new religion, because I'm lost. I'm not understanding it.
Okay, dokie. You know, this shit is really
So is he trying to say something about the Muslims or?
No, he's not going against the Muslims or none of that. He had went to a different country. You can look it up on YouTube and just type in Steve Harvey new religion. But anyway, when you,
and it's called Chisholm, right?
He had went to Africa. He went somewhere else in a different country, and he was looking at the Muslims and the mosques, and he had put them two together, like if they was with peace. And he a Christian, you know what I mean? He's a Christian, and he put Chrislam and combined them together. Okay. Chrislam, you know what I mean, to make it, you know what I mean, together as them both, you know what I mean? So he had said that, and they said like this is what the media had said as him making of a new religion. But the point is that he was saying that there's more than one way to get to heaven and get to paradise. And that's what a controversial thing come into play when he said there's no more than one way. So that's what I was looking at when he had said that. That's when I had you know what I mean, checked him out and say, okay. But he was just talking about how the world is with different channels and shit like that. But he was, you know what I mean, people looked at it like, nigga, no, ain't no more than one way. You know what I mean? Only get way is Christ going through Christ. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Because you ain't heard no motherfucking body, you know what I mean, do that shit before what Christ have done. So how can it be many ways? You feel what I'm saying? So that's what the whole issue with, I mean, the topic about I was just trying to stay on Steve Harvey is that he was talking about making his own, he made his own religion by saying Chrislam, and at the same time he said it was more than one way. And I wanted to hear what the people had to think about that, about him saying that, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure if a lot of people know about it, because until you said something, I didn't know about it. And I meant to listen to it on YouTube. It is on YouTube, but I never got a chance to. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's all it was.
All right. Well, if you want to bring it to a close.
Yes. So y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all take care, and thank you for attending the show, Sip and Talk. We keep it real and keep it real with real talk and real opinions on Miss Yolanda's show. So y'all enjoy y'all time. Y'all enjoy y'all night, and see you next time, Sunday.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
next
Good night,
time. Good
commenter.
night. Good
See y'all.
night.
All right, Daddy.
Bye.
All right, y'all.
Good night.